Hi guys, and welcome to lesson 5. It's been a nice and enjoyable series on my end. I hope you are enjoying as well. If you did not catch the first lessons, please go watch from lesson 1 and come back here so that you can have a better understanding and you can build up to this lesson. In the previous lesson, we looked at how to solve for x when given a difference of squares as an equation. In this lesson, we're going to factorize trinomials. What is a trinomial? Let's just get an understanding by looking at an example. X squared minus 2x minus 24 equals to 0. Okay, so we call this a trinomial because it contains 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 terms. All right, so it's a trinomial. So we have the first term, the middle term, and the last term. Okay? First term, middle term, and the last term. I'll be using those words or those terms over and over, so please get used to them. First, middle, and last. So the first term will be carrying a square. Then the middle term will just be a number, maybe multiplying the variable, in this case x, and the last term will be a constant, a number without x. Now, how do we factorize that? Trying to solve for x, of course. How do we factorize this? You are going to look for factors of your last term. That is, 2 numbers that when you multiply gives you that last term. We're going to start there. What are the factors of 24? It's 24 and 1. When you multiply those two, you're going to get 24. Another one is 8 and 3. Another one will be 6 and 4. One of those combinations must be the answer we're looking for. But which one are we going to pick? Now remember, when you talk about a term, it must go with its sign. So this is not just 24, it's negative 24. When I say the middle term, it's negative 2x. Okay? So you must consider the signs. So now, listen to me carefully. When your last term is negative, that tells you last term, if your last term is negative, it means factors have different signs. So your factors must have different signs. Different signs. By that I mean one factor will be positive, the other one will be negative. Okay. If your last term is negative, but if your last term is positive, your factors will have the same sign. Same sign. So if this factor is positive, the other one will be positive as well. If one is negative, the other one will be negative. So how do you know how to assign your signs? Okay, our last term is negative, so we know that the condition number 1 applies in our case. Our factors are going to have different signs. Listen to this one. The bigger factor will always take the sign of the middle term. The bigger factor will always take the sign of the middle term. The bigger factor takes the sign of the middle term. Okay? I know it looks a bit long now when I'm teaching it, but as you practice, it becomes very simple. Okay, so the bigger factor takes the sign of the middle term. So let's assign now. First thing, we know the factors have different signs, so we're gonna say minus and a plus. Why did I give the negative to the 24? Because the middle term is negative, and the 24 is the biggest. So it's the bigger factor. That's why I gave the 24 negative. We go down. The 8 is going to be negative, the 3 is going to be plus. Again, in this combination, 8 is the bigger factor. So I'm giving you the sign of the middle term. Likewise, negative, plus. So what are you going to do now? You're going to just add them as you see. You want to make sure that the result, when you add, you get that middle term. If you get that middle term, that will be the correct factor. Okay, let's do that. Negative 24 plus 1, that will be negative 23. So no, the middle term is not negative 23. So we can't use that. Negative 8 plus 3, that will be what, plus 5? So no, the middle term is not plus 5. It's negative 2. But negative 6 plus 4, that is 2. And that's correct. Sorry, that is negative 2. That's correct because our middle term is negative 2. So we will take this combination as our factors. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. X squared minus 2x minus 24 equals to 0. So our factors are going to be, you open your brackets, you're going to put x, you're going to put x, then you're going to put the negative 6, that's the first one, there. Then you're going to put the plus 4, that's the second one, equals to 0. Like we did in the previous lesson, we said the first bracket is going to be equals to 0, or the second bracket equals to 0. We transpose the negative 6, like we've been doing. When it gets to the other side, it's going to be plus, or we transpose the positive 4. When it gets to the other side, it's going to be negative 4. And that is how you factorize trinomials. Let's take another example before I leave you for a moment, okay? Again, this seems very long because I'm teaching you now. But if you practice over and over, you can do this within 20 seconds, okay, or even less. Let's take another example. X squared minus, let's say 8x plus 15. Great, equals to 0. First thing first, we're going to look for factors of 15, 15 and 1, and then 5 and 3. Great, let's check. Our last term is positive, so we know these two factors must have the same sign. And the obvious one is going to be the sign of the middle term. So they're going to be both negative because our middle term is negative. Okay? Yeah, so we're going to have minus and minus. Minus 15 minus 1, that's minus 16. So no, our middle term is not minus 16. So minus 5 minus 3, that's minus 8. Yes, our middle term is minus 8. So these are the factors we're going to go with. Let's see how quick it can be when you now understand what we are doing. All right, so we're going to open the bracket, respect the equal sign, equals to 0, put x, now put your factors. It's minus 5 and minus 3. Great. Continue. First bracket equals to 0, and then the second bracket equals to 0. Let's do that. So we're going to say the first bracket equals to 0, or second bracket equals to 0. Transpose the negative 5, it's going to become positive, or x transpose the negative 3, it's going to become positive. Yeah. So we have x equals to 5 or x equals to 3. And that's it from me, guys. If you have any question, feel free to ask. I am going to assist you, or your friends are going to assist you under the comment section, okay? And I will see you in the next lesson. That will be lesson 6. Enjoy.